I begin my message this morning with a poem by Denise Levertov. It was written during the Vietnam War. Before she writes the poem, she says, on June 17th, the New York Times reported that as part of the Buddhist campaign of nonviolent resistance, Vietnamese children were building altars in the streets of Saigon and Hue, effectively jamming traffic. Her poem. Children begin at green dawn nimbly to build top-heavy altars overweighted with prayers, thronged each instant more densely with almost visible ancestors. Where tanks have cracked the roadway, the frail altars shake. Here, a boy with red stumps for hands steadies a corner. Here, one adjusts with his crutch the holy base. The vast silence of Buddha overtakes and overrules the oncoming roar of tragic life that fills alleys and avenues. It blocks the way of pedicabs, police, convoys. The hale and the maimed together hurry to construct for the Buddha a dwelling at each intersection. Each altar made from whatever stones, sticks, dreams at hand is a facet of one altar. By noon, the whole city, in all its corruption, all its shed blood the monsoon cannot wash away, has become a temple, fragile, insolent, absolute. I don't know about you, but I can just imagine those streets and those street corners filled with handmade altars to the Buddha and to the ancestors. And I can see in my mind's eye the hale and the maimed together creating them. I came across this poem just a few weeks after the military junta in Burma violently stopped the protest of the Buddhist monks and the citizens of that country. I wished I could send the poem to them. The people of Burma are devout Buddhists, and I know that they wanted to support the monks who had risked their lives and took to the streets in order to bring an end to the oppressive and authoritarian rule that is stifling their country and its people. I suppose that the Burmese people were scared. They didn't know what to do. Imagine if the people all took to the streets, especially the children, and they made altars in the intersections. They could have shut down the capital of Rangoon and all the commerce. They would have created a moral blockade to an immoral system. People have that kind of power when we choose to unite in common cause. We witnessed it in India when Gandhi inspired the farmers and the common people through faith and determination and guided by love and purpose, and they conquered one of the strongest empires the world had ever seen. We've seen it in this country, most powerfully during the Civil Rights Movement. In order to end legal segregation, Americans took to the streets, guided by faith and love, and offered a moral critique of our culture and our government and its laws. This is the power of the people when people are united in the common cause of justice. I remember a story that I heard a few years ago about a town somewhere in the East Coast. It was during the Jewish holiday of Hanukkah, and a group of neo-Nazis were terrorizing the Jewish families by throwing rocks through the windows of homes where they saw a menorah burning. Within a day or two, the entire town had placed menorahs in their windows in solidarity with the Jewish community. They sent a clear message that hate was unwelcome in their town. And they also showed the Jewish community that they were welcome. About 10 days ago, I read in the newspaper that a state legislator from Oklahoma had declined the gift of a Quran that was being offered as a part of the Oklahoma Centennial celebration. Initially, I was disappointed. Then instead of graciously accepting this goodwill offering from his constituents, the legislator decided to make a political point. Now, I know as well as anyone that this is a free country, and anyone can freely offer as well as freely decline a gift. But when I read that the legislator, in his response to the gift, had written to the people offering it and said, quote, "Most Oklahomans do not endorse the idea of killing innocent women and children in the name of ideology," I thought to myself, I hope most Oklahomans don't endorse the idea of maligning the religion of innocent women and children in the name of politics. I realized that a representative of the people of this state had just, in effect, condemned an entire religion and its people. And that's unacceptable. There have been Muslims living peacefully in Oklahoma for over 50 years. They have contributed much to our state and its culture and economy. I expected that within a day, the legislator would have clarified his remarks. I thought that for sure I would hear the words, "I was misunderstood." In no way did I mean to imply that the Muslims of Oklahoma or that the Muslim religion endorses the killing of innocent women and children. Instead, the legislator defended his remarks on television and in the newspapers and added fuel to the fire by accusing the Muslims of Oklahoma of not speaking out publicly against terrorism. Now, I have personally heard Muslim leaders here in Tulsa speaking out against terrorism in interfaith worship services and forums around the city. I watched as the Muslim community has invited citizens of Tulsa to the mosque many times to learn about their religion and culture. I've seen the statements against terrorism and violence on their website, and I knew that they had spoken in schools, to Rotary clubs, and throughout the city and Oklahoma. And I will never forget watching the Muslim Children's Choir singing alongside Jewish children and Christian children and Unitarian children and Native American children as part of the September 11th memorial service at the Performing Arts Center here in Tulsa in 2002. That service was a testament to the beauty and the diversity of our city and our country. And it was an example that the religious and ethnic divisions that divide people around the world have no place in Oklahoma. Yet the rhetoric last week in the media continued, and there was no public apology or effort to clarify to the public what was meant. If there was, I couldn't find it. So by Friday of last week, interfaith leaders joined Muslim leaders for a press conference, and I was asked, in my role as the president of Tulsa Metropolitan Ministries, to participate. Now, for me, the most powerful statement of the day was made by David Bernstein of the Jewish Federation. He explained his role as a Jewish leader, his many roles as a Jewish leader here in Tulsa over many decades. But he said, "Today I am a Muslim, standing with my brothers." And it reminded me of the menorahs in the windows. It reminded me that when a minority is being threatened and discriminated against, that we, the people, need to stand up together and say no more. Not in this neighborhood, not in this city, not in our state.